Hey, on the channel, we got one of my all-time favorite toys from the 80s reimagined in Super 7 Ultimate Edition toy version, Mumm-RA.
The spirit of the warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Super 7 Ultimates unboxing and review. And today on the channel, we've got our old buddy, we've got Mumm-RA. But for all your Mumm-RA needs and everything else under the sun, make sure you're hitting up Entertainment Earth. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10% on all in-stock items. And of course, everything over $39 does ship free. Got to get a deal out there. Speaking of deals, we got to get a deal on Mumm-RA. And Mumm-RA, of course, we remember in 2022, we unboxed the regular edition, whatever you want to call it, from Super 7, the Ultimate Wave of Mumm-RA. And it was one of my very favorite figures of 2022. If you saw my countdown list, very, very high at the end of the year for me with that Mumm-RA. That was the Mumm-RA I'd been waiting my entire life for. Of course, I had the toy version of this as a kid in the 80s, but it didn't quite match up to what I saw on screen every single day, where the Ultimate Edition we unboxed last year does. Now, I don't think this one will hold a candle to that one, but this one will be very nostalgic here. And I still remember to this day picking up the original one from LJN way back in the day at the old Empire Mall. Shout out to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I'll actually be back up in Sioux Falls, South Dakota sometime in April, so look for the toy hunt on that one here before you know it. But I remember getting that one, and I only had Mumm-RA and I only had Slythe. Those were the only two Thundercat figures I had growing up as a kid in my own possession. Of course, I played with them with my friends, so I knew the figures, I knew the characters, I knew everything about them. I just didn't have all of them. And that's kind of the way it goes when you're a kid. You can't get every single thing out there, that is for sure. But I'm very happy to have this one. Still wish I had my 80s one I could compare it to, but don't have that anymore, but we will compare it to the other one from Super 7 from last year later on in this video. And of course, we're going to do this video like we do all the other videos on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging, we're going to talk about it, we're going to unbox it, we're going to talk about it, we're going to see where it goes from there. So without further ado, let's take a look at old Mumm-RA, a scary, scary, evil guy. I mean, Skeletor was pretty scary, but he was kind of corny, as we all know, in his voice and stuff, and his mannerisms a little bit. But Mumm-RA really intensified evil, ancient evil, if you will, as a little kid. Just really thought he was kind of one of the scarier bad guys in all the cartoons I watched as a kid. So very cool to have his figure back in the day. And like I said, I only had a couple of Thundercats. I mixed him into my Masters of the Universe is what I did as a kid. But very big window here. Now remember, this one does come with the increased price point. This is about $75. I felt like it was worth it for the other Mumm-RA. I'm not sure I see all the value here, but we'll see what happens when we get him out of the package here. He's definitely going to be a larger figure, but does larger mean extra money? I don't know. We'll see what happens. But very big window box. Nothing on the sides, of course, on this one. And then you get the back. There's a beautiful shot of him. And we got a little bit of blurb. Of course, we do get the old slip cover. You get that usual stuff with him and all the other Super 7 Ultimates. So we knew that was in there. And then you get the cardboard box to protect everything as well. Can't forget that one. But then we got Mumm-RA, the ever-living, beautiful artwork back here. Really do love that. Mumm-RA is the Thundercats' evil adversary, mummified and otherwise weak. He is energized and made immortal as a servant to the spirits of evil, who grant him magical and transformative powers to carry out their wicked bidding. Oh, they sure do. And that transformation is just, it blows your mind when you're a little kid when he would transform like that. Beautiful LJN old school packaging. Oh, I smell that. If you can smell that through the screen, it smells like China factory is what that smells like. But boy, that plastic is overwhelming. Very, very... And I can barely smell. We've went over that on the channel before. And I can barely smell, but I can smell the plastic on this one. Fresh from the factory is what it smells like there. But there's old Mumm-RA. How about that? Oh boy, there's a lot of callbacks to the old one. I'm going to take this offline. I'm going to get him out and cut out and all this stuff. We'll be back talking all things Mumm-RA. All right, we've released Ancient Evil out of the package in Mumm-RA here, and we're going to break this one down like we usually do. We're going to start with the accessories first. So let's look at these hands. We got the 2 open hands on Mumm-RA, so we can plot evil with the scary hands. Then we do get 2 Fists of Fury. Mumm-RA, when all else fails and you got to throw down, he's ready to go with his Fists of Fury right there. And then we do get 2 gripping hands. Got to have those for the weapons, which we're going to talk to next. But definitely big Mumm-RA hands. You can see the thumb, the long thumbnail on there. But then we do get down to his weapons, and these are very iconic. The minute I saw both these weapons, it brought me back to the old school figure. And of course, they had very similar weapons to these back in the day. Did he have light up eyes, or am I dreaming that? It's been a long time since I've seen that, but I remember he had a lever on the back of him. I think it was to either kick or it was to light up his eyes a little bit, but I could be dreaming that. It's been a while. But very cool, iconic weapons here. I love the black sword with the red handle. Always loved that back in the day. And then you got this little dagger with the crazy wave to it as well. So very, very iconic Mumm-RA weapons from way back in the day, looking really nice. And even got that serpent head on the end there. It looks like a serpent wrapped around for the handle. Like that. It's on brand. It's on brand for old Mumm-RA. Now we dive into Mumm-RA, and the first thing it brings me back is that iconic 80s seafoam green color that Mumm-RA is. I remember just thinking how weird it was back in the day. It's like, he's green in toys, but why is he blue on the TV? And how does that disconnect happen from the LJN company and the Thundercats TV cartoon? How did they get that disconnect on the color? It was always strange to me, but definitely this green color brings me back to that old LJN Mumm-RA. And there's a lot of kids that had this Mumm-RA back in the day too. This was a very popular figure to have, as you could imagine. Very, very good looking, though. It definitely looks like that one of the old, but spruced up. Obviously, the plastic's a little nicer, the details are a little nicer, things like that. Of course, it's got that very iconic headdress. A lot of friends, a lot of them you see in toy shops and things to this day, missing his headdress. That does come off. Very, very big bald head there, looking like some kind of a demon. Very big mouth, got the white teeth there, but the fang, ugly teeth, the black eyes, black as night. He's got his robe, kind of his strands, his mummy strands, I guess is really what they are, over there around the neck. And then, of course, you do get his headgear with all the strands going on, the 2 serpents at the top. Just very, very iconic to Mumm-RA back in the day. And you do get a second head with him here. Not a ton of difference between these heads. I guess he's got a more mad face on this one. You got the teeth just grinning together, biting together. He's real mad. He's ready to be on the attack. So I guess you got one really mad one, and I guess this other one's kind of his resting face. He's just got a resting mad face at all times, apparently, old Mumm-RA. Mumm-RA, there's not a lot of things to be happy about. I guess Mumm-UT is the only thing that keeps him happy. Who knows? But definitely looks good. Articulation-wise, of course, head side to side. Not a lot of up and down, but you do get the side to side. Arm's going to go all the way around. Bicep cut. Single jointed elbows, side to side at the elbows as well. Hands back and forth. Of course, hands going to be removable. He does got those wrist gauntlets there on the side. He's got his bicep strand as well. You got the mummy strands going throughout. We got his loincloth right there that he did go to Eternia and pick that one up somewhere on discount. It looks like it's a little bit short for him. He's ready to show the world what he's got, and it looks like he's got red underwear on. That's what he's got there, because you can't miss that. And then he's got the yellow trim that does match the fur on the boots down there, and then the green skin throughout, of course. And then you got those very classic shin guards there in the brown and yellow for old Mumm-RA. Definitely looking spooky, definitely looking scary. Then you got the big old Mumm-RA logo right there in the chest. But he is a big, big boy, and he was big back then as well. He was always a larger-than-life character for sure. I do have Monkeyin right here next to me. Guess you can compare that. So this is the Monkeyin from the same wave. He towers over Monkeyin. So Monkeyin about $55, $75 for Mumm-RA. Not a ton of accessories with Mumm-RA. That's the thing. Yeah, you get an extra head, you get 2 weapons, you get 4 extra hands, but you don't got the nice wired cape like the last one came with. You don't got the Mumm-UT the last one came with. So you're missing some of those bells and whistles here that you don't have with this one. So I don't know. I know inflation plays parts of this stuff, but you also, to take inflation down, you're using a lot of reuse on the body size. So where do you pick and choose from? I'm not exactly sure. I'm not sure this feels quite 75. Let's call it 65. We'll meet in the middle. We'll call it fair there. I would wait for a deal on this one unless you really, really have to have this guy at the $75 price point. At least that's where I sit there. Of course, we do got another Mumm-RA. We got the gold standard Mumm-RA. The greatest Mumm-RA figure of all time is the one that came out last year in the Super 7 Ultimate Wave. Just off the rails good with this one. Just amazing, amazing. This is what I wanted as my childhood. Happy to have this here in 2022. This is cool for nostalgia purposes, but by no means does it even come close to holding a candle to this one. And this is one of those ones that, like I said before, this is the toy version wave. A lot of people that like ones like this, they skip this wave. They can just bow out, save some money. Or if you're a completionist, you jump in totally. Or if you're one that doesn't want to pick up the entire waves, buy everything, but you love the toys back in the day, maybe you just get the toy wave and that is it. So there's a lot of different places you can go with this collection for the toy versions of the Super 7 Thundercats. But I do think it is cool. I just don't know if it's $75 cool. That's where I'm going to sit here at the table. That's what I'm going to say. But man, if you could still get this one, I'd pay $100 for this one. I absolutely love this Mumm-RA. So some good, some bad, and some ugly. That's the way these things go from time to time. But what do you think about Mumm-RA? You picking this one up? You passing? You playing the long game? Did you have some iconic battles with this one in your childhood? Let me know in the comments down below. Of course, you made it this far. You might as well like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell. As you guys know, we got videos every single day and then some. Yes, and then some. We got a lot of content here on the channel. We got even more content over on the Patreon, early access to videos like this, bonus content, exclusive content, monthly Q&As, you name it, there's a lot going on over there. And best of all, you do support the channel. You can also support the channel at ProWrestlingTees.com, search Kyle Peterson, and then don't forget about social media. SirPaul64 is where you're going to find me on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson. So for Ancient Evil, I am Kyle, and I will see you guys all real soon.